Hi, Maya.
Hi, Philip.
You have been working with a lot of groups worldwide, and it is your third intensive movements seminar here in Belgrade, working together with the Gurdjieff Belgrade Society. Is that right?
Yes, my third visit.
Mm-hmm. And can you share some experience with this group?
They're lovely people, very disciplined, and as we get to know each other better and better, the communication is very easy. We do need some translating, but the communication is very direct, and some of it is verbal, most of it sounds verbal, but there's a layer of communication that goes way beyond words.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that very easy here.
You have been a movements teacher for quite some time, and what influenced you to take this direction?
I was at Sherborne during the third course, which was end of 73 to summer 74. And one day we were doing a dress rehearsal for a demonstration that Mr. Bennett wanted to give to his visitors. And as we were filing out of the hall, I caught myself thinking, one day I want to be a movements teacher. It was just a thought that came through my head, and I forgot about it. But it seems it stayed operative.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, when I was in a movements class, somebody would put me in the front and say, "You do it, yeah." And started small. Yes.
And like you said, you have been at the third intensive course with J.G. Bennett, which was, if I recall, October 1973.
Mm-hmm.
What would you share in regards to this last intensive course?
It was not quite the last. The last one only lasted 2.5 months because Mr. Bennett died. I was very young, 22, turned 23, and I didn't quite know why I was there, what I was supposed to be doing there, and it took me many weeks to arrive. The Sherborne House is a huge house with long corridors, and one day I was walking along one of them, and Ilan was playing the piano, and the sound was all over this house. And he was playing the Trembling Dervish. And it was the kind of music I'd never heard before. And I remember standing there, listening, surprised, and suddenly feeling, now I know why I'm here.
Today is the AI era. It's a totally different kind of world now. How can authenticity of the movements and teaching in general be kept while not shying away from technology and trends?
AI may be very useful to keep archives and to make legible figurines, texts, and so on. But humans have a tendency to believe what is written, to believe what is on the screen. And it's a different form of paper, that's all. And you can write whatever on paper. In German, we say paper is very patient. So it's good to keep a record of things. use videos to do a recording, which might be more difficult to read. It takes more effort to see the different parts of a movement. But I think it's truer to what it should be. People can make mistakes when they write notes and when they put them into AI forms. It doesn't make them more correct. That, I think, should be clear.
Seems to me there is a hidden teaching in the Gurdjieff movements, the teaching about how to serve something higher during my life. How can this principle be practiced in basic day-to-day life?
John Wilkinson, who was my very first movements teacher in a summer school at Sherwood before the course started, he used to tell jokes. And he would recount one again and again. Somebody coming, saying, God, I want to serve you. I want to serve you. And one day the heavens opened and God asked, what can you do? I would just want to serve you. So we need to practice learning to become present, learning to handle our attention. Our attention is not ours. It goes with the dog that barks, with the car that goes by, the pretty girl, the good-looking man, whatever it is, the attention is gone. So we cannot speak about my attention, your attention. Self-observation, lots of practice and patience, becoming present, inhabiting the body, working with sensation. Attention will always fluctuate. So if I'm driving, most of it goes towards the driving. But when there's no problem, I'm steadily going somewhere, some of the attention comes back to me. And I check my posture again. Are my hands relaxed on the wheel? Am I gripping it in fear? What is going on? This constant being in connection with myself and with the outside as it is presented to me in the moment.
Yes, it's a good point that you made, because today a lot of people are fascinated about the work, about work on a mystical level, but the way you explain it, it's more about how to wash the dishes, like the basic day-to-day
Yes,
things.
yes,
And this is the essence of the work, right?
yes, yes. Some people do have mystic experiences, others don't. Seems to be a matter of types and inclinations. What I found useful is to use aspects of the work in everyday life. When I walk to the bakery to buy bread, and with my feet, I'm aware of how I'm moving. I come in, say good morning, good afternoon, and so on. It's staying with that, staying with that. In my neighborhood, there's some flowering bushes. So as I walk along, I see them. Some have a lovely scent, so I smell them. Being present to these things. And I have found it makes my life richer. And I'm not always busy with the random thoughts in my head.
How do Gurdjieff movements support awakening of conscience?
Conscience is a big one. As we learn a movement, we will find that it's not quite so easy to move the right and the left leg in a given pattern. And then we add some arm movements and we meet trouble. We have to learn to manage ourselves, start again and again, try. And we see ourselves doing that. If I look away or pretend this arm is straight, there's a lack of honesty there. Yes, is it straight or bent? Not quite clear. So is that accepting this is the form of the movement and learning to see when I'm kidding myself. Yeah, this is it more or less, where it is when it isn't. And it's an aspect of honesty that comes in. There's that. And there are aspects of the inner work that some movements require, where there's an introspection, where there's a remembering, a becoming aware of particular people in one's life. How our relationship was with them. Parents is one example. And it seems to wake up that feeling, maybe that wasn't quite good enough how I behaved, what I did. Did I wash that cup really well? Is there still a stain, tea stain in it? That recognition that something I sort of believe I've done well, and I haven't really looked, and I did not really do it well. To become aware of that, and it becomes a very different kind of guide. Not only in usually the moral sense in which it is used, but in the demands of quality, which has to do with attention, with my being there, from doing the dishes to the highest possible moral ethic demands. So it sort of covers the whole range. Honesty, I think, and being present to oneself.
What would be your message to the new generations that may be interested in the work and movements?
It's a difficult one. Most children grow up with too many impressions. TV, commercials, and I haven't watched TV for a long time, so I'm not really informed what kind of impressions children are given. I saw some of the cartoons, and I have no opinion. I think it creates a sort of great divide between what is natural and what is artificial. You have a artificial bee moving across the screen, but the children barely recognize a bee when it's outside, cannot tell a bee from a wasp. Some children are surprised and to find out that milk is not created in a box, but actually comes from a living animal. So I would hope children can retain a contact with the natural world. Move their toes in the sand pit on the playground, be able to tell this is a pea and this is a marble and this is a pencil by the touch of it, using their senses. And I think being able to use the senses, recognizing, brings us closer to ourselves, makes life richer, and is a good foundation for any kind of inner work.
Thank you for visiting Belgrade, and we hope to see you again.
I hope so too. I love coming here. Thank you.